Hey, it's your boy Sean. This is Supercars from the Hood, and on today's episode, I want to do something different. Today, I want to go over something I'm calling tiers of speed, and this is not going to be about what supercars are fast or what is the difference between a hypercar and a supercar. It's about what tier some of the hypercars and supercars fall into, because some of the hypercars are limited in speed, and those numbers come pretty close to some supercars, but we know what those hypercars are actually capable of. We know that they're more capable, a lot faster, and accelerate on a level that some of them supercars will never hope to achieve. And there's 3 tiers. Why 3 tiers? Because that's the 3 I came up with. It's my list, so I came up with my own tier. And the first tier is the super fast tier. I named it after 812 super fast. It's 211 miles to 230 miles. The second tier is the stupid fast tier, or the speed tier. That is the 230 miles to 250 miles. And then there's the dangerously fast tier, or the god tier. That's where the top flight 250 to 300 plus mile per hour cars go. Now I'm gonna start this first tier by just throwing a few names out, starting with the namesake. The 812 Superfast has a top speed of 211 miles per hour. That is pretty damn fast. But you know what else has a top speed of 211? The Ferrari SF90 Stradale, their new hypercar, has that same top speed, and so does the Ferrari Pista. The McLaren Senna also has a top speed of 211 miles per hour, and so does the Porsche 918 Spider. So now you see why I came up with this tiers list, because I find this stuff pretty damn interesting. We know that none of those cars can even touch the 918. Maybe the Senna, but it's more of a track weapon than anything. And then there's the AMG Project 1 with a top speed of also 211 miles per hour. Now you probably thought that car was a lot faster than that, but it is not. Now we'll get into a little higher speed. The Ford GT has a top speed of 217 miles per hour. That is the same top speed as the LaFerrari and the McLaren P1. The Aventador also has a top speed of 217 miles per hour. And the fastest Lamborghini is either the Scion, or Sion, however you say it, and the Veneno Roadster, 221 miles per hour, give or take. The Aston Martin 177 has a top speed of 220 miles per hour as well. And the fastest car I could find for this tier was the Pagani Huayra BC at 230 miles per hour. So as far as I can tell, it's the top for this tier that I've created. There's probably other cars, but I'm too lazy to look for them. Next is the stupid fast list, and we're gonna start with its namesake, the Speedtail. The Speedtail has a top speed of 250 miles per hour, which makes it the fastest McLaren ever, faster than the legendary F1. Other cars sharing that top speed: the Tesla Roadster has a claim spot top speed of 250 miles per hour. Also, the Pininfarina Battista and the Aston Martin Valkyrie also share that 250 miles per hour. Now, we all know the Koenigsegg CCR has a top speed of 242 miles per hour. The McLaren F1 had a top speed of 241 miles per hour. And the Saleen S7 Turbo had a top speed of 248. And there's a few other cars coming out in this category. A lot of cars coming out with that 250 miles per hour top speed. A lot of them I can't remember off the top of my head, and a lot of them are electric cars. So this second Speedtail category is gonna rival the first super fast category really soon with the amount of cars they have. It's pretty amazing actually. And that's where we get into the God tier, the top tier cars. These are the fastest cars in the world, and it's a very elite list. We got the 9FF GT9, top speed of 254 miles per hour. The Koenigsegg Regera, also in the 250 mile per hour category. The SSC Ultimate Aero 256. So very fast cars. Koenigsegg and Bugatti basically always in the running for fastest car. We're talking 267, 261, 274, and then the Hennessy Venom GT 271, the Agera 274, the Chiron Super Sport 300 plus 304 miles per hour. So that is the top flight cars. And then we have the SEC Terra. I know I keep butchering that name, and that's alright with me. The Jesco, a 300 plus contender, they're saying 330, I highly doubt that. The Venom F5, also 300, and these are future elite cars, so it's not going to be 300 category tier. And I basically made this list to say this: the Hyper 3, what we call the holy trinity of hypercars, the 918s, the LaFerraris, the P1s, those cars are in the super fast tier. They aren't even in the second tier in terms of top speed. They aren't even in that third tier, the God tier, the top flight cars. But we call them the holy trinity. They're amazing cars, sure. And we're talking about getting to that top 230. Those cars getting blown away. Bugattis, Koenigsegg's, just on the sheer fact that those cars are so much faster. I don't know if those cars can see the holy trinity around the track. I don't know if they're that quick, capable, but in a straight line with brutal power, they'll destroy those cars. And we don't even put them on the same pedestal. We put the cars on that third tier. We don't put them anywhere. We rarely even mention them. Mega cars, we don't say much about them. I don't want to say that's because they're out of people's price bracket, because the LaFerrari P1 and Spider, those cars are expensive. Those are $1 million cars. So it's not the pricing that's putting those cars above the other ones. It's not because they always compete with each other when it comes to the supercar space. Yeah, Ferrari and Porsche always go at it. That's been happening since the 80s, maybe even the 70s, or even before that. But McLaren is fairly new in that battle. It's not like they actually fit in the rivalry between Ferrari and Porsche when it comes to the hypercars. Maybe Mercedes has a little bit to say in the matter, but their cars are not even on the same level. I think it's really interesting when we talk about some of the greatest hypercars, and the greatest hypercars of the last generation aren't even in the second tier. And I know they're limited to a certain amount of speed, and we don't know what they are without the limiters, but maybe they would be in that second tier, but not even close to that third one, that top flight. And I think that's very interesting. That's why I wanted to do an episode like this, just to put into some perspective of how we see some cars. Because in that first tier we have a lot of supercars and a lot of would-be hypercar Aventadors, and a lot of them really live up to that top speed, and some of them really don't. And it's really surprising because the 4GT 6-cylinder, probably the fastest, maybe 6-cylinder on the list. I don't know, I haven't checked all the specs for all the cars. It's been a minute. And the top speed of 217 is actually pretty impressive, and if you see some of the videos online, it can get that easy. So I wouldn't want to see them drive it in a straight line versus, you know, the holy trinity. And if we seen Shmi take his and his center around the track, and the center was just faster around the track, even though, you know, the 4GT is a Le Mans winner, the center was just better, and it doesn't have the top speed. Its top speed is like 208 miles, claims 211, big wing, whatever you want to claim it. It's just around the track, the center's got it. That downforce is, you know, something crazy. But the 4GT is still pretty impressive, especially since it's just a Ford. But I digress. This video is getting a lot longer than I intended. I kind of went on a tangent after I got through most of what I wanted to talk about, and I have a habit of doing that. But I want to bring this video to an end. So tell me, what are your thoughts on these tiers of speed? Are you surprised by some of the cars in the first tier? Surprised about some of the cars in that second tier? And I know nobody's surprised about that third tier, the God tier cars, the fastest cars ever. If you like videos like this, likes are appreciated. Subscribe to the channel because I'm really trying to grow this thing, doing my best. I know very limited with the things I have here. I can't get my hands on any of these cars, guys. Cut me some slack. So if you like the video, like the video. If you dislike the video, dislike the video. If you want to see what I got planned next, come see what I got planned next. I got a lot of stuff for this channel. Really want you guys to be there with me. And with that said, I'll catch you later.